Hello YouTube, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the most important mental health topic that is almost never discussed on YouTube Fitness or life in general, and that is going to be your moral. Where is your moral? Is your moral status high? Are you energetic? Or are you demoralized? I've noticed, and you might have noticed that as well, that most people are highly demoralized. And I can tell you one thing. Someone who is depressed might be prevented from going to the gym, they might be low energy, but they'll still make gains. Someone who is anxious is going to be devoured by energies they can't control, but when they can get stuff done or make them feel better, they can still progress. But someone who is demoralized will never make any leeway at any time in their life. And the reason why is your mental state has an impact on your physical state and vice versa. And if the spirit and the mind has decided that the body is going to be at a dead stop, the body will stay at a dead stop. You might not believe it. Some people will say that it's a spiritual bullshit. I can tell you that it is a fact. If you don't believe in yourself, your body will never grow. You will stay small for the rest of your life. And the vast majority of people who think that they cannot grow, who blame their genetics, who find excuses, are highly demoralized. And demoralization can be summed up in a few sentences. It's the state of being that is defined by a complete lack of hope, meaning that you have lost faith in your own agency. You have started to believe that whatever you do will never have an impact, that anything that can happen to you will either be negative from outside forces or just the random fruit of luck, that you cannot provoke your own luck, that you're at the mercy of this world and its energies. And that, of course, is going to be a loser's mindset 100% of the time, because you lost the ability to be the captain of your own life. So you're just going to be a victim from now on. And you might be thinking, well, okay, it doesn't sound like me. I can tell you that there is a part of you that's demoralized. And across the board, demoralization is the strongest, the most difficult adversary to combat because it's everywhere. It's being inflicted upon you by other people who are constantly telling you, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't be this. And you end up believing it. Even if you think that you're just completely resistant, they're working their way inside your brain and eventually you start to believe it. And since the entire world is doing that for you, you are slowly being chipped away at. And you might say, well, there is a balance of negative and positive, right? Sometimes the world gives you positive reinforcement. Is it really positive or is it fake positivity? Is it something that is going to be used to sell you something? Is it something that actually builds you up? Or is this just a manipulation tactic to get you to a certain spot so that you can be abused and used? Almost always it's the second. People are not working out for you. People are not looking for your best interest. The only person that can help you in this world is you. And the only person that can get you out of that hole of low morale is you, because demoralization is going to be your job. You are the one who is going to pull yourself out of that hole. And it's going to be tough. Keep in mind that for the people who are interested in history, the vast majority of the budget during the Cold War, for example, was not used on spying. It was not used on attacks on foreign land. It was used for demoralization. It was used for propaganda to make the opposite country believe that they were wrong, that the country where they were born was terrible, that their ideology was bad, that they were born evil. All of that was inflicted upon people who had no way to know what was happening and who grew up demoralized. And you are most likely that because you're on YouTube Fitness, and YouTube Fitness is a factory of demoralization. It's there for one reason only, sell you stuff, and it sells you stuff by telling you, hey, you're lacking this, or you're lacking that. You're not getting big because you don't have that supplement, buy that supplement. And how do they get you to buy it? They guilt you, they shame you, so that you actually spend money so that you can remove the shame. But it never works. Why? Because the product doesn't work. But the demoralization works wonders. And now, here you are, highly demoralized, incapable of moving on because you have lost the power to do so. And the solution is not going to be meditation. It's not going to be praying to the gods. It's not going to be reading a book. The solution and the simple way out of that pit is action. You're going to actually go out there and train. And you're going to put aside any doubt you might have. You might have lost hope. You might think that you're going to stay small for the rest of your life. This doesn't matter. These are just opinions. They don't count. Do the work day in and day out. Do your research. I don't care if you progress. I don't care if you think you progress, because most likely that's what's going to happen. You think you don't progress, you give up, and therefore you create a self-fulfilling prophecy where you actually didn't make any progress because you stopped. Keep going. Trust the process. Trust the training. I want you to disconnect yourself from that brain that is telling you that it's over, because it's not. Let the body prove the brain that it has resources, that it can do whatever it wants to do, and just stay at it. And it's not going to be a week, it's not going to be a month, it's going to be years. If you're a skinny young man, it's going to take years. But guess what? You'll wake up one day in a body that is vitalized and big, and you know what? On that day, your brain will be fully moralized. And demoralization is going to be not even a memory. You know what? Because the second the shackles fall, it feels like they were never there in the first place. And that is also the vicious part about all this, is that a lot of people who are able to achieve it, who make it, quote unquote, they lose the ability to reflect back and help the people who haven't made it yet. I haven't. I remember what it was like. I was highly demoralized as a teen. I thought that I was never going to get anywhere. And lifting saved me because I let it. And I understand also that I'm privileged in the sense that I wasn't really connected to the internet back then. I didn't have all of that negative energy thrown at me through the screen. So I was able to build a wall of resilience that now makes it so that any doubt bounces off of it. You don't have that, but you can still build it. It's not too late. So my advice is also disconnect yourself from all of that negative stuff. YouTube included. Unsubscribe from this channel if it doesn't help you, and just train. Focus on yourself. Recenter yourself. Demoralization doesn't come from the self, it comes from outside sources. The self in itself, pun included, is not going to demoralize itself. It knows better. But what it doesn't know how to do is filter those negative influences, because you have never been taught how to do that, because most likely school has programmed you to not think for yourself. But that's a different topic. So I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to close on that, that this despair, this feeling of negative energy you're feeling now, the fact that you cannot foresee a future that is anything positive or happy for you, the fact that you already think at 17 or 18 that your life is over, that you'll never make progress, you'll never get the body you want, all of that is a lie. You're lost in the middle of the fog. And I can tell you one this, the only way to get out of the fog is to keep walking. If you stop walking, in 10 years you'll be the same, in 20 years you'll be the same. So get at it now. Thank you for watching, have a good day.